Hello everybody, so this is the last part of building the UI with React, and we are just going to work on the login and register pages or sign up pages type thing, right? So let us just begin. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to come into the pages here, and then I'm going to create a new folder and call that register. I'm going to call that register, and I'm going to create a new folder here again and call that login, right? Alright, now that we have these two, I'm going to come here and then create the first component for the register. I'm just going to say register.jsx. Okay, now inside register, I'm going to use my RFC to generate a component, and then I want to show the component inside my app.jsx. So over here, I would quickly say, okay, let's create a new route for it basically. So over here, I can say sign up. Oh no, it's getting slow. Alright, so I could say register. Then over here, I can have my register here. And then now that we have this part working, I want to see, this is so that we will not have to refresh the page all the time, or have to click through the page all the time. Let's just put the register inside the home page so that we can quickly find the changes and just make them. Right, so if we go back into the browser, you can see that we have the register text over here. So let us go back into the project here and then go into the register page and just start working on it. Right, so now that we are inside the register page over here, I'm going to do a few things, right? So what are we going to do? We are going to have one div here that is going to wrap around everything that we have. Then inside this div, we are going to have another div, and then right under this div, we are going to have another div. Okay, so we have first div, that's the wrapper div, and then these are two divs that are aligned towards each other. Right, now that we have these two things, we are going to add a few things, right? So this div is basically going to have an h1 that is going to bring in the title of our application, or the name of application. So I remember naming it Social. So we have Social here, and then when we go back, you should see Social there. Right, now inside here, right under here, we are going to add a span that is basically going to talk about, what it is about, just like the one on Facebook. And I would say connect with your friends on Social. Right, so I could say something like connect. Okay, connect with friends. Let me check my microphone. Okay, it works. Connect with friends. Connect with friends on Social. On Social. Alright. Now that we have that, we can come down here into this section here, and then we can add some elements that we have there. So inside here, we already have the box, or the box that is going to hold the the register component type thing. Right, so inside this box, you can add an input. You can add the first input, which is going to be, so input, and then what are we going to put there? Now put in the name. Sorry. Okay, I guess we can't do that, like we can't do it like this, so I'm going to have to do it manually. But okay, I have a trick. Let us first of all just come here and say input, then we add the email like this. Then we come here, input, and do the same for the password. Right, then we just come and duplicate this as well. Right, and then we just change the details. So here we are going to have username. So here we can just have a simple name here, and then we can say that the class is what we can say that the placeholder instead should be what username. the username here, we can clean both of these, can clean them, and then over here we have email, and then here we can have password, but let's give it a placeholder here, placeholder, and then the placeholder of email. We can clean these bad boys, as well, and clean these bad boys, just backspace, clean all of them. Then we have a placeholder, and then each and every single one of them. Okay, now we can now start adding. Okay, this one already has one, so I'm just going to clean this. Okay, then we come here and put in password, and then we can put in what, confirm password, Alright, now that we have them, we can come down and then add a button, to it, and then inside this button we can have the sign up button here. Don't worry, we will do all the stylings. Then down here we can come and add another button here. Then we can say log into your account. Okay, log into your account. Okay, so now that we have this and we go back, you should see that we have all of these items in here, right? That should be working as we expect them to be. So we can just now now start working on the stylings here. So inside this first one here, we are going to give it a few class names. So we are going to say that the width should be screen, right? The height should be screen as well, and then we can give it a BG of green, since that's our primary color, 100. Then flex, then we align the items to be center. Now you should know that this is the aim of keeping everything at the center, right? So justify items center. Then now we should realize that they should be here at the center here, like this, nice and clean. Now that we have that, let's go into the next div, that's the wrapper, and then let's add a few things, a few class names. So here I'm going to make sure that the width is 170 pixels. Let's do it here, 170 pixels. Oh no, not 170, actually just 70% should be good. 70% actually was a quick mistake. And then over here we have this place also given us 70%. Okay, 70%. Then over here we have the flex. Okay, then if you go back, you should see it is here. Now let us start working on this that comes right under it, which is the one that contains this information, right? I mean, since this div is separated from this div, we are going to add a few class names that is going to place them in a certain order, dividing them equally between the div that is contained inside them. Okay, so I'm going to go to this div first of all, the one here that contains the information. I'm going to add a class name. Now what is the class name that we are going to add? We're going to first of all say that make sure that the font here, or we let's even add the flex. Okay, so let's make sure that it's flex, and then we are going to say that flex colon, right? And then we are going to say justify center. Okay, then now that we have that, we can now add style here. We can make sure that the styling here is a flex, right? And then this flex property that we are going to add here is going to distribute the it's basically going to distribute the arrangement of these two divs, this one and this one, equally inside the div that they are contained in, right? So how do we fix that? I'm going to take this style here, and then I'm going to insert it also inside the second one as well, inside the second one here as well. And let's not forget these class names too. Take these class names and put them here. Okay, then we should have, okay, It's a mistake. We should have these nicely separated parts here. Okay, now that we have them separated nicely, what do? We want to come down. We want to come down inside this one and then add a few class names so that we make it stand out distinguishably. So inside this one, we want to say that the font should be extra bold. Extra bold. And then we want to say that we want to increase the text or the font size. So we'll say font size 3 times extra large, right? So here we want to make sure that the text is green. I want to say green 600. I think I like 600. Yeah, 600 is okay. And then now that we have that, we want to now come down into this one and then add some class names. We are not really going to do much. We are just going to make sure that the text increases a bit, and then we have the font to be semi-bold. Okay, and then when we go back to check the project, you should see that we have this really nice, beautifully designed text over here describing what application is about. Okay, let me connect to the internet so that we see the font changes. Okay, let me turn on the hotspot here, and then it should show. Okay, let's connect to the internet and then refresh, and then we should see the text change, the font changes, because it looks like the font changes aren't showing. Okay, alright. Okay, so now that we are connected to the internet and we've seen the font changes, now we can now continue with ease. I am going to come here. Okay, now that we have worked on this, let's go into the next one, right? That is under here. Now let's add a few class names. Right, we are going to work on the box, the input box, right? This particular section, and we are going to align the items in a very clean manner. So I'm basically going to add my bg white, right? bg white. Then we'll make sure that the height is 400 pixels. 400 pixels. We come to the side here, and then we make sure that the padding is 200 pixels, 20 pixels actually. why padding will be 200? That's crazy. 20 pixels. Then we have rounded MD, flex. We give it a display flex. Then we say flex column, just to align everything in the column direction here, like this. Then we can come and then give it a justify between, so that we can have spaces between them. So justify between, let's give it some spaces in between, and then we give it a shadow LG, just to give some style or something. So as you can see, this is what we have. Okay, so now that we have this, we want to go straight into the input here. Then we'll add a few class names, of which we are going to copy over to the other ones, right? So here we would add a height of 150 pixels. No, 150 is too big, come on. 50 pixels. Then I would come here and then make it a rounded MD. It's okay, rounded MD is okay. Then I would say that the border, I'm going to give it a border, and then I'm going to give it another border color. So I'll say border gray. Then I'll give it, try to do 200, border gray 200. Then I would give it a text LG, increase the text, the font size a bit, and then we'll give it a padding. Oh, I think we've given it a padding already. No, we haven't. So let's give it a padding of 20 pixels. Then we'll give it a focus outline, a focus property, and then we say that the outline should be none. Okay, there's a mistake here. Gonna fix that real quick. So Now that we have that, we can go back into the project and then you can see the changes that has been made inside our input file here. Okay, so I'm just going to take this part, I'm just going to copy it over like this, paste, copy it over, paste. I'm just going to paste it here as well. Then we should have things being aligned nicely. Okay, so now that we have that, you can see that the property has been affected on the rest of them. So we can come down and add our button, but both of these seem to be outside the div. Let's push them inside. That was a quick mistake. Okay, they are inside the div now. Okay, now that's okay, that's cool. Right, so now that we have them inside here, we can now add the stylings that we want to add. So what do? I'm going to come into the sign up section here, and then I'm going to give it a few class names. I'm going to increase the height. Basically, I'm going to increase the height real quick, and then I'm going to say it's going to be 50 pixels here, 50 pixels. Then I'll give it a rounded LG. Okay, then we'll make sure that we are giving it a BG or a background color of green. I'll give it a green 600 as usual. And then we add a hover effect that is going to deepen the color a bit. Just to create, that. So I'm going to give it 700, right? And then we can add a transition to make it smooth. So you can see here, if I go over it, you can see it seems pretty quick, but adding the extra thing is going to give it that really nice transition. So let me just add a transition so you see the difference. So I'm going to add transition. Now when we go back and do it, you should see now it becomes smooth. Let's go back here and then add the text white. Let's make sure that the text is white because the black color just not it. So I'm just going to come here and increase the text, the font size, right, by saying the text LG, then font bold. Okay, so when we go back, we should see it nice and clean. Alright, now let's work on the button, the last button under here. That will take us to our login page, or that is supposed to take us to our login page. So for this one, we are basically going to copy this class name here. We are going to copy this class name here, then change a few things. So I'm just going to paste this. Then I'll make sure that this is blue. And then I would say that I want the width here to be 50%, but that is 1 over 2 in tailwind, so you can see 50% here, right? Now that we have done that, we have the rounded transition, then we have the text white, the big one, and then we have this. Then what we are going to do is I'm going to make sure that it is in the center. Okay, so when we go back to check, you can see that it has nicely been done. It's nicely done over here. Okay, so as you can see, we have a nicely designed form for the sign up over here. It works as we expect it to, really nice and clean, right? So what we are going to do right now is I'm basically going to copy over this whole thing into the login component, right? And then we just change a few things for it to fit, just so that we don't waste any time. So over here, I'm basically going to create the login component, login.jsx, and then I'm going to use my I'm going to come here, copy this and paste it in here basically. Then I'll go to the app. Okay, let's change things first. So I'm going to press command F to bring this up. So let me clear it and do it again, just in case you missed it. Command F brings this up, and I'll take the register keyword and then I'll just replace it with login. just replace with login. So I clicked on this arrow, brought this out, replace with login, and I click on this button, it replaces it, right? So replace, and then now all the things that had register on it have been replaced with login. So I'm going to close this, and I'm going to go here into the app.jsx, and then I'm going to add a new route for login. So I would say login, then I would say the login component, but I'm just going to use the same login component here, just so we don't have to keep refreshing the page. Then when I refresh, you can see that it is this that will show up. So let's just start making our changes. Okay, so really quickly, I'm going to go back here and clear some inputs that we have. So I'm going to go to the inputs here straight away. We just log in with our email and password. No need to confirm password again. Then we can change this to login. Just login. I think is login separated. Yeah, I think it's okay. Leave it like this. Then here we'll say create a new account. Create a new account. Then what else do? We make sure that what else do we do? I'm gonna come here. Let's go back and look at it. Okay, we can see that it has a big space here, and that space should be around I think this, we are going to give this 300. The height here, we're going to reduce the height to give it 300, and then it should be okay. Okay, now it's okay. If I clean this, then what else? I'm going to we have login, create new account, email. Yes, I think we are left with one more thing, forgot password. So here I'm going to create like this quick span, and I'm going to ask forgot. Should we make it small letters? Let's make it small letters. So forgot password, and then inside I'm going to add like a class name. I'm going to add a few class names. So here we're going to say that we want to center the text, because I mean obviously if you look at it, it's not in the center. So let's center it real quick. So text center. Then we say that the text should be green 600, obviously green 600. Then we make it a cursor pointer. Alright, now when we go back to look at it, we should see it nicely placed. I don't know, I feel like we should change this. I feel like we should change the font style. Let's go back to Google Fonts and see if we can get a better font style. I'm just going to go here. I don't know, I don't like it. Okay, I'll go to Open Sans, Montserrat, Lado. Let's take Roboto. So gonna get the fonts. Yeah, let's copy this. Yeah, let's copy that real quick. And I'll go back to VS Code, and then I would go to the index here, and then I will just replace it with this. And then all we have to do is come here and make this Roboto. and 9th, so I think we can maintain this one. Okay, so now that we have all of these here working as we expect it to be, what do we want to do? I want to go back here and then come back to the home page. I want to come back to the home page here, and then I would why is the PC slow? Okay, I think the home page is rendering, so I would go to the browser here. Okay, home page should load up. Okay, just be patient. I don't know, I think its rendering has caused the PC to be slow, but okay, it's here now. Okay, so as you can see, the user information that was supposed to appear in the profile page is appearing here. So let's fix that real quick. So you remember, let me go into the profile page here. Let me go to home here, for the home here, or should I let me go to profile instead. Let's go to profile, right? So here I'm going to add a prop, say profile, right? And then inside I'm going to receive that prop inside the right bar. I'm going to receive this prop real quick, right? I'm going to say profile. I'm going to receive this prop. Now I'm going to come here. As you can see, we are just returning this, but we need to return it based on a condition. I'm going to say that if we call this right bar, if we call the right bar in home and we don't add this prop, or we don't see this prop, it should show the normal right bar. But whenever we show the prop, it should show the profile type of right bar, right? So if we pass this, right, if we pass this without the profile prop, it should show the right bar home, right? But whenever we pass the profile prop that we are passing here, then it should show the right bar profile. Okay, so let's work on that really quickly. So I'm going to clean this. And I'm going to say that I'm going to do a conditional rendering here. So I'm going to say, if the profile is available, if it has been passed, then display right bar profile. Okay, but if it hasn't, right bar profile, but if it hasn't, I need you to I need you to display right bar home. Okay, now when we go back here, we should see that this is showing, but when we go to the profile route here, we should see that we'll get this one. Okay, so thank you very much for getting to the last part of the UI design of our social media application. In the next one, we would work on the combination of the back end and the front end, and then would also even learn some extra interesting things that would help us find our work a lot more easier or increase productivity. I really appreciate everybody that has gone through this series to this point. That's had its ups and downs, but we are here finally, and so hopefully I'll see you in the combination of the APIs of the back end and then the front end. Right, thank you very much.